Hello and welcome. Today we are looking at the Tianqu Visuo 809S Battle Sharks drone. This is a foldable quadcopter with Wi-Fi HD streaming. It has automated features like auto takeoff and auto land, and it's pretty quick and nimble, so let's check it out. Now the drone comes in this neat square black box that says Battle Sharks right here at the bottom. High performance channel camera quadcopter, and it's from Visuo, and it's for ages 14 plus. And as you can see, the quadcopter's facing front here with the bright teeth right there, red teeth, shark teeth, and it does look really cool. Here on the side it says Google Play or App Store. Here on the back it says Battle Sharks Folding Portable, and here you could see the different models, the 809SH all the way down to the 809SHWK, and these are essentially combinations of high definition 720p cameras with wide angle and 480p VGA standard definition cameras, and some with Wi-Fi FPV streaming, some without the camera, so on and so forth. Here are the features such as 6-axis gyro, 3 speeds, flips, USB charge, headless mode, so on and so forth. And just a lot of neat stuff going on there. Visuo, and nothing at the top, nothing there at the bottom. So pretty simple packaging, but very cool. So now let's open up the box and see what we've got inside here. So right there, we remove the box. So right away here we see the plastic covering here with the drone. So we move that aside. Already we see the drone right here. Visuo, as you can see here. Pretty cool. And it's already folded and compact. Right here we have the transmitter, and it has a little card here, reference card, to show you some of the basic preliminary takeoff information there. Here's the transmitter right here, very nice. Same as the previous version of this, the 809W. So this is an upgraded version here, and right underneath this plastic mold here we have a couple of batteries here, because this is the 3 battery set. And so here we have 1 battery. There's already a battery on the quadcopter, and there's an additional one right here. And we have the propeller guards, spare propellers, I believe a screwdriver. So the typical little bag with accessories. And then right here we have the instruction manuals and brochures. So let's organize all this and take one last look at the contents of the box. Now, taking a last look at the contents of the box, we have the drone itself. It's 3.8 volt, 1800 milliamp LiPo battery. And since this is the 3 battery set, we have 3 batteries, but there is a set that just has the 1 battery. 4 spare propellers, 4 propeller guards, a screwdriver, the micro USB cable to charge the batteries, the transmitter, and the user manuals and help manuals. And that's essentially the contents of the box. Now let's take a closer look at the drone. Now, taking a closer look at the drone, this is a real neat looking drone. It looks like a fierce shark right here with all of its teeth behind a big red LED light. And it has its 2 eyes right here, and it says Visuo here at the top, and it's foldable, which is really cool. So really easy to fold. Right here you fold the rear legs first, followed by the front legs, and really easy to fold and unfold. There are no special buttons or anything like that, and you just fold it like that. Make sure the propellers are in the right orientation there, and so it compacts very nicely, as you can see here. Folds very nicely, and really easy to unfold as well. So very neat there, and it is a brushed motor quadcopter. It has good lights for orientation. There's a big red LED light there in the front, and it has these lights here in the in each leg, which is really cool. 2 green and 2 red. Here is its HD 720p wide-angle lens camera, and it does have a 90-degree angle of tilt right here. So if you just tilt it, you can tilt it, in fact, even a little beyond 90 degrees. So really cool tilt there. You can even tilt it a little upwards, so pretty cool. And just a really neat design here. Here's its on-off switch here at the bottom. Here's its Wi-Fi antenna. And here's its battery bay here. And going over the battery just briefly here. This battery is a 3.85 volt 1800 milliamp LiPo battery, and it's proprietary, yet you could charge it with just about any micro USB cable here, and it does take a while to charge. It maybe takes about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes to charge, but you get close to a 15-minute flight time with this battery, so that's pretty cool. Now, one thing to keep in mind is if you use the included micro USB charge cable, it does have a light indicator at the end here that lets you know when it's fully charged or when it's charging with a red light. If you use another type of micro USB charge cable that doesn't have this light indicator, there's no way of knowing if it's fully charged or not, because there's no light on this battery. So the one way you could find out is you could feel the top of it with your finger, and if it's warm, that means it's charging. And after about an hour and a half or so, if you feel the top of it and it's cool, that means it's already charged. So, but you can use just about any type of micro USB charge cable on this, whether it has a light at the end or not, like this one. So you're not just restricted to this one. So that's important, especially if you have the 3 battery set, where you may want to charge all 3 batteries at once using different micro USB charge cables. So that's essentially it there. Now this battery is a bit thicker than the previous battery that came with the other Visuo, the one before this one. So now actually let's look at the previous model of the Visuo. I have it right here. So this is the previous model. This is, I believe this is the XS809, and this one is the 809S, the upgraded version. Now they're both virtually identical. They look just about the same, except this one has more of a shark theme, and this one has like 2 eyes there in the front. And they're just about the same. Even the transmitters look exactly the same. The main difference is, since this has a higher capacity battery, with this one you're going to get a few more minutes flight time. It's not a big drastic difference, but with this one you'll probably get somewhere around 4 to 5 minutes extra flight time, whereas this one gave you about 10 to 11 minutes worth of flight. This one will give you about 15 minutes worth of flight. So that's the main key difference, and plus this looks more like a shark with a big red LED light there. But other than that, any other differences are not very impactful. But yeah, so right here these end caps are gold, these are silver. These has these stripes here. This one doesn't. This has gills here in the back with a little fin, and this one doesn't. So that's basically it. Now the transmitters are not interchangeable with these. So if you have the older transmitter for the old Visuo or the new transmitter for this one, you cannot bind them one to the other. You have to bind them with its correct model. So that's one detail to note there. And as far as the batteries, You cannot use the higher capacity battery on the old Visuo, but you can use the lower capacity battery on the new Visuo if you want. Except since the newer battery is a little more thick, you're gonna have a little extra space in there, so you're gonna have to wedge a piece of cardboard or something in there. But you can use the older batteries on this, but I'm not sure why you'd want to do that, because they're lower capacity and you're going to get less flight time on this. But I guess if you have extra batteries here, you can use them as well if you want to fly for a bit. But aside from that, they're just about the same thing. So they both look cool. They're both really nice flyers. And but yeah, just a very neat quadcopter here with its rubbery landing legs, really durable and strong. So now let's take a closer look at the transmitter. Now taking a closer look at the transmitter, this is a very comfortable gamepad-like transmitter, kind of like an Xbox or something like that. And this transmitter does take 3 AA batteries, like so, 3 AA batteries. And you do need to put a screw here in the back to secure it. Onto the controls here. This has pretty standard controls for this kind of quadcopter. We have our left throttle stick and our right rudder stick. We have our on-off button right here. We have our auto takeoff and auto land button right here. Our emergency stop button right here. Our trims right here. We have our headless mode button right here, our 1-key return button. These are unlabeled, but I believe they were intended to be camera and video button. Take a picture with this button and take video with this button, but they don't seem to work. And right up here we have our speed or rates button, and we have 3 rates of speed denoted with beeps. So you have 1 beep for single rate of speed or slow, and up to 3 beeps for highest rate of speed. And here is the flip button. So once you push that, you might hear some beeps, and you move the rudder in the direction you want to flip the quadcopter. So that's essentially it for the controls. Right here in the middle, we have a foldable latch there, so you can put your mobile device, as you can see, and it stretches out. And you cannot put a tablet, but you could put a pretty large cell phone on there. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty secure. And that's essentially it for the and as I mentioned a bit earlier, this controller is 100% identical to the previous Visuo model's transmitter. As you can see here, it's just a one-to-one perfect replica. The only difference is that you can only bind the controller with the appropriate model. So this one could bind with the 809S, and this one would bind with the previous Visuo model, which was the XS809, and you cannot cross bind them. So that's essentially it. Now let's take a look at the app and setting up for a first-time flight. Now, preparing for a first flight, once we have fully charged batteries inserted in both the transmitter and drone, you would first turn on the quadcopter by going to the bottom here and turning on its on-off switch there. And right away you'll see it start to blink that way. Next you would turn on the transmitter like so. And then at that point you would bind it by putting up and down the throttle stick. And as you can see and hear, the aircraft is now bound. The lights are steady and everything is bound. Now the first recommended step is that while this is on the ground flat and not moving, you would calibrate the gyros. And the way to do that is to move both sticks down and out like so. And you would hear a beep and see some rapid blinks. And once that stops, the gyros have been calibrated. So now we're pretty much ready to fly. We want to first connect the app, and so we're going to enter the Wi-Fi settings and connect to the quadcopter. So let's do that. So once in your mobile device's Wi-Fi settings, you would connect to this entry right here. It says Wi-Fi 720p with a serial number. And you would connect to that, and there's no default password initially, so you can just connect to that. And once you connect to that, you would launch this app right here, which is XSW UFO right there, XSW UFO with a blue icon. And you can find that in either the Android or iOS app stores. And it's the same exact app that the previous model of the Visuo used, which is the 809XS. So once you launch that, you will be greeted with this intro screen. And right here, there's some help files to show you around the app. And here are some settings to change certain parameters of the quality and so on. But what you primarily want to start out with is this play option right here. And once you do that, right away you will see a live feed with the quadcopter, as you can see here. Now the Wi-Fi FPV range and range of control is pretty good. It's somewhere around 50 to 100 meters, depending on the environment and conditions and whether there's interference or not. But so now we're in the app, we have our live feed, and going over the app briefly, this icon here will take you back to the main screen. This will take a picture, this will take a video, this will take you to your photo album to see the pictures and videos you've taken. Now you can fly this quadcopter just like its predecessor, just using the mobile device, not even using the transmitter. And to do that, you would turn on the option there to fly with the virtual joysticks. And you'll notice the joystick is not spring loaded here, and so you'd have to enable altitude hold with this icon right here. And so now you'll notice that it's centered, and you'll see some of the typical controls like the auto takeoff, auto land, emergency stop, trims, left throttle, right rudder. This is the 360-degree flips. This is your rates. So you have, I believe, 3 rates, 30, 60, and 100. Let's see, 30, 60, and 100. Here you could use the accelerometer to fly the aircraft. So if you tilt the phone in a certain direction, the aircraft will tilt in that direction. So that's pretty cool. This is your waypoint feature, where you could actually, instead of using the rudder stick, you can actually draw a pattern and the aircraft will kind of fly that pattern, which is pretty cool. And right here you have some settings here to either flip the screen or your FPV feed, to split the screen if you want to use it with Wi-Fi FPV goggles. And right here we have our compass calibration, our headless mode, and I believe this is to speak certain commands to have the quadcopter fly in that direction. So you can push that and say forward or back, and the quadcopter will follow those commands. So that's essentially it for the app. And now everything's bound and ready to go. And let's take her up for a little flight and see how she performs.